As a filmmaker, there's nothing worse than getting to the point where you've spent weeks and months writing a script, you've spent weeks and months shooting the film, you've spent months and months in post-production making it perfect, and then finally the film comes out and nothing. You don't get all the views you're hoping for, there's no audience out there waiting for this film, and it can be quite depressing, especially if you've come out on streaming. You may not even know the exact release date, so the film comes out with no fanfare, and if that audience isn't there waiting to watch that film, people aren't going to happen on it. There's so much content out there. So I'm going to break down the best ways to find your audience. I'm Jim, I host the Honest Filmmaker podcast, and I've chatted to hundreds of filmmakers who've promoted their films. I've spoken to professional marketeers who market films for a living, and I've put together these tips, and I hope they're useful. There's a ton of social media platforms out there, and it's difficult to know which one to target, where your audience is, and how you find them. So first off, you want to think about the fact that you are trying to find a specific audience. This film's not for everyone. So what I would start with is a sentence that describes your film that mentions genre and emotion. So you can connect those two things to the audience member you're interested in finding. This could be part of your logline, but once you've written this, think about who would be disappointed if they couldn't see this film. Who's going to get excited about this logline? What's the sort of person who wants to see this movie? And once you've done this, you can start to think about the emotion attached to your film. Because ultimately, audiences don't follow films, they follow emotions. They follow the feeling that your film gives them. And that's what you're trying to create when you make the film, the way that you're going to make them feel when they're watching it. Write down 3 emotions that you think this film will elicit. So for example, if it's horror, it might be fear, excitement, thrills, and then drill down on those 3 to one primary emotion that you're going to try and target your audience with. So again, using the horror example, it might be fear. I want people to look at my poster, watch my trailer, read my logline, and I want the hairs on the back of their neck to stand up because they think this looks scary. That might have that effect on everyone, but you're looking for somebody who wants that effect. They want to feel scared. They want to watch a movie that's going to make them feel fear. And defining that one audience member is really going to help you find out where that audience member lives online, because that's your primary way of reaching this audience. So write a little description. You can write down how old they are, what YouTube channels they follow, what other films they're interested in. Think about then those particular things, where do they lead you as far as social media goes, and that will help you define where they are online. You can also reverse engineer existing films. So pick 3 to 5 films in your genre, look at what film festivals they premiered at, because that might be an option for you, and also look at how they marketed their movie. Now they might have a much bigger budget than you, but you can actually see the marketing they've done and where they've chosen to spend that marketing money, because you might be spending smaller amounts, but you'll be targeting the same audience. When you choose a platform, and I would choose one platform, I wouldn't go on every single platform. You might want to register all of the pages for your film just to get your title sorted in case you decide to jump to that platform, but I'd actually try and focus in on one platform. You could look at things like, for horror, I'd go for TikTok and Reddit. For drama, I'd probably go to Instagram and Letterboxd. And for genre films, I'd definitely get onto YouTube and potentially Discord. Pick one of those platforms and consistently show up on that platform. When you get to that platform, it's important you speak with the audience, not at them. So ramming your trailer and your poster down people's throats won't work. They won't be interested, and they'll clearly see this is marketing, and you won't get more eyes on your film. You'll probably get a little bit of aggro. So think in terms of having a conversation with people. I'd start posting while I'm writing, while I'm in production, while I'm in post-production. Really involve them in the process of making the film, and be honest about some of the struggles and difficulties you've had creating that film and getting it up on the screen. People will connect with that. When you start posting, you then need to track which of those posts do the best, and that's the path you want to continue on. Those are the ones that get the most traction, so I'll just create more along those lines. The stuff that people want, I'll give it to them, but it'll be about my movie, and I'll be having an honest conversation with them about how I made it. Remember, your goal is to start building that audience before the film is finished. The worst place you want to be is with a completed film and no audience ready to watch it. You also need to make sure all of your marketing reflects the tone of the film. So whether that be the color palette used in the film, the editing style, the music, the sound effects, the kind of emotion it brings, you want it all to feel like the same thing so people connect it to that movie and they get what they want ultimately when they watch the film. Try and treat every post you put on social media as a little snippet of the film. Even if it's behind the scenes, it's a little taste of what that film's like. You could try setting up maybe 3 posts all about the film, track which ones perform best, and then double down on it and post more content similar to that, because you know that's what your audience have got an appetite for. If you want to go a step further, get your audience involved in the film and the process. So let them vote on which poster they like best. Talk to them about the synopsis, test out different synopsises, show them different cuts of the trailer, talk to them about characters, get them involved so they feel part of that filmmaking process. Make them feel like the film is ours rather than just yours. And it's important not to get too hung up on that main figure, that subscribe or that follow figure. Think in terms of shares, not views. Think in terms of regular commentators, people who really back you and back your project, especially ones that have got no familial or friend relationship with you, people who are new to this film and who actually get behind it. That's a win, having people like that on your side. If you're able to set up an e-newsletter, and you can track sign-ups on that, and it doesn't have to be hundreds and thousands of sign-ups. Each sign-up is someone that's potentially going to buy the film when it comes out, watch it on streaming, and then potentially buy and watch all of your future projects. So finding that audience isn't about going on every social media platform and just shouting. It's about communication with that audience. It's about speaking very clearly to one particular audience. You could even write a sentence you would like your audience member to say, having watched the film, and then use that sentence as a guide for your marketing. So what do they want to feel like when they come out of seeing your film? And you need to make them feel like that's what they're going to get from all of the marketing you put out there, and all of the trailers, posters, the logline, everything gives that impression that that's what they're going to get when they see this film. So building an audience can be really powerful, especially when it comes to actually making money and making your budget back from that film. I'd also suggest you check out a video I've made about how to make a film that sells, so that you can consider that at the very beginning of the process, so you know there's going to be an audience out there who's going to be interested in watching it. See you on the next one.